Just taking a look, though, at our flight situation right now. So it looks like we have 37 cancellations here across the country. Not too many slowdowns, though, happening here. The reason I was looking is because we do have that weather right now. And last Christmas, remember, it was a disaster for Southwest Airlines. They had 16,000 flight cancellations that week alone. Now, the airline says they've made a lot of changes since then. Is it enough? We have our USA Today consumer travel reporter, Zach Richter. I hope I'm saying that right, Zach. Thank you for taking time
thanks.
with us.
Thanks for having me on. Happy to be here.
Good. I'm glad to hear what you have to say. So the airline says, hey, we've made all these changes. It shouldn't be an issue. What do you see?
That's right. So Southwest is really emphasizing that they have made a lot of investments in the last year. They have invested in new equipment like de-icing trucks and some other things to help winterize their operations. They've invested in new IT infrastructure and changed some of their policies internally to help communication within the company go more smoothly if something does go wrong. And what we're seeing is it seems to be paying off. Customers are actually booking this year at higher rates with Southwest than they did last year. So obviously it remains to be seen if all of this new infrastructure holds up. But these are the kind of investments that people are really kind of calling on the airline to make in the aftermath of last winter's meltdown. So they've answered the call, and hopefully it works out for everyone.
So remind me, I thought it was not only a scheduling software issue, but a lot of the stewardesses and the flight attendants, they said they couldn't get their schedules as well. So they say they've fixed all of these problems on every level.
Right. So last winter, we saw this really cascading effect where there were some bad weather in some of Southwest's major airports like Denver and Chicago. And what happened because of that is a lot of their crews got stuck. If flights couldn't get out, crews that were supposed to be on those flights couldn't make it to their next flights. And it really just sort of cascaded through the system. And they were using a kind of older crew scheduling software. So that was a big part of the problem. It was bad weather plus some old infrastructure. And so they obviously have very little control over what weather hits them, but it's these equipment and software upgrades that are really meant to help the airline respond in a more agile way if something goes wrong again this winter.
So also the airline was making changes, but the feds also stepped in and they said, you know what, we've got to clearly define what people have a right to in this situation. So if your airline ends up canceling your flight, Christmas or otherwise, what are we entitled to and how do we go about getting it?
Yeah, definitely. Excuse me. So if your flight is canceled, you are absolutely entitled to a full refund. Whether or not you bought a refundable ticket, you're entitled to a cash refund. And the Department of Transportation has a pretty good consumer dashboard now that outlines all of its policies related to cancellations, delays, compensation. Airlines do not have to necessarily compensate you if your flight is just delayed. It depends on the length of delay and a number of other factors. And there's some leeway with airlines being able to set their own policies, but that DOT website is the best place for people to go to see everything all in one place, exactly what you're entitled to and how to go about claiming that those entitlements from the airline.
Good to know. I mean, I hope we don't have to use that information, but it's good to have it in a back pocket. Appreciate you. That is Zach Richter, the consumer travel reporter with USA Today. Appreciate you.